Pakistan's battle against India has extended to the Basmati arena now. Pakistan is now eyeing the Basmati rice export market after India applied for the GI tag, which is a geographical tag for Basmati rice in the EU. Scared of losing the European market, Pakistan is all set to challenge India's claim on Basmati in the European Union. Pakistan is preparing for a fierce legal battle as it has shortlisted two law firms for the case, and Imran Khan is expected to pick one of them to fight Pakistan's case in the European Union. Both are international law firms based in Brussels, and Messrs. Altius International Law Firm is one of them, and Messrs. Lidkerke Wolters Weilbrock is another one. And Indian Basmati enjoys a premium in the global market as it is known for its fragrance, long grain and genuineness. As per India's application, Basmati originates in the Indian subcontinent and is grown below the foothills of the Himalayas. Pakistan is also trying to get a foothold in Iran, which has been a traditional market for India and accounts for 34% of India's Basmati exports. The GI tag going to India would mean Pakistan losing that European market. Pakistan, unlike India, does not have a domestic GI tag system. And as per the rules, in order for Pakistan to win the case, it needs to develop a domestic GI tag and then build a strong case to challenge India's claims. For losing the tag to India will be a big blow to its already struggling and crippled economy. We will talk about this. What does this mean for India? Have we gotten our act together when it comes to, patents? Let me welcome Ambassador Suresh K. Goyal, former diplomat, on to the panel. Sharad Kohli, economist, also joins us. Major Muhammad Ali Shah, defense and strategic expert, joins us on this debate. And last but by no means the least, political commentator Sumit Peer is also here with us. Sharad Kohli, let me come to you first. Obviously, we've faced problems in the past. Basmati was, in fact, a name which was sort of being monopolized by an American company as well. India won that battle. They had to rename their produce of rice as Tex Rice or Texmati. But India got its act together in terms of GI tagging in the last 20 years. Pakistan has not done the same. So they obviously will find themselves on the back foot. But at the same time, it is very pertinent for the sake of the export of rice for India that we win this battle, because the GI tag is extremely important in determining the genuineness of a product, Sharad. You know, if you buy Scotch, if it doesn't have that tag, you will perhaps not buy it because it could be something which is a rip-off made in China. It's the GI tag, Sharad, that makes it unique. It makes it saleable. It makes it, in fact, even favorable for the community that is part of producing that particular thing or product. Sharad, your thoughts? Sharad, you'll have to unmute yourself.
I'm sorry. So I can understand Pakistan's desperation because, it's fetching them foreign exchange worth about $1 billion, and in a foreign exchange strapped country like Pakistan, which is already, tottering in terms of all the economic parameters, I think it's very natural on their part to fight it out. But what surprises me is that GI tagging is an international norm these days, and all products moving between continents, between countries, it's almost mandatory now, because the GI tag, for the sake of viewers of NewsX, for who are not familiar, it tells you the origin of the product. It also tells you certain special qualities which that particular product has. So what surprises me is, instead of going and fighting it out and hiring a law firm in Belgium, it should better start a GI tagging system of its own, because the fact of the matter is that Basmati is grown primarily in Punjab, in Pakistan, between Ravi and Chenab River. And almost 35% of the market for Basmati is with Pakistan. There is no doubt about it. So I think it would have been and I think that GI tagging system would also help Pakistan in exporting some of the other products rather than only Basmati rice. So I think GI tagging is something which Pakistan should be doing first before engaging a law firm. As for the law firm and the legal position in European Union is concerned, I think India, with GI tagging being there, India is already tagged in that manner. There is already an application there. So I really don't think Pakistan would stand any chance in terms of the tagging aspect. But what really, really surprises me is how can Pakistan continue to export so many products, or at least aspire to export so many products without GI tagging? But having said that, I think it will be a very interesting legal battle, and I have no doubt that India is going to come out with laurels, in this particular case. And there is no stopping as far as the Indian Basmati is concerned. Indian Basmati has established its brand, its position across the world for the fragrance, for the size, for the amazing flavor that Basmati carries. So I think, and the whole world knows about it. Now, because GI tagging is mandatory and Pakistan wants to challenge Basmati position as such, despite the fact that Pakistan has Basmati, right? It is not that what Pakistan is exporting is not Basmati, it is Basmati. But then I think it will be fair enough for Pakistan to go for GI tagging instead of chasing the law in Belgium.
Absolutely, Ambassador Goel. In fact, as much as we would, like to avoid this idea, as much as we would, in fact, be uncomfortable with this idea, had Pakistan applied for this tagging in consonance with India, perhaps the exports that it still continues to enjoy in terms of basmati rice would have prevailed. Now that they have decided to go against us, perhaps they have burned some bridges.
Very two or three things here. I'm not an expert like Sharad, and therefore I will talk purely from a very, a manner of common understanding of the WTO procedures and the GI tag as to what it actually can mean. Now, two or three things come up here. First of all, the case that you referred to in Texas, the company trying to sell their rice as basmati,
correct,
and ultimately had to call it Taxmati. I believe that was again fought jointly by India and Pakistan for the basmati, for that rice not to be called basmati. And therefore, in that sense, it was really the basmati region and not just India which actually won the battle. Point number one. Point number two, the idea of GI tagging is not that it can't be done by India alone or by Pakistan alone. But the idea is whether that tagging is not questioned or challenged by some other country. Like in the case of Scotch, the Scotland can label what they produce as Scotch, or champagne can be produced in France. Any other sparkling wine, if we try to label it as champagne, they would challenge it. I mean, India can try and call it champagne, but we will not be allowed by the international procedure. Therefore, it's not that Pakistan should not call it basmati and we should not call it basmati. At the moment, basmati tag or basmati product is popular both in India and Pakistan, and I have not heard anybody questioning the basmati going from Pakistan as not being basmati, or just like as in India. Lastly, it may sound rather naive on my part, but the fact today is that the GI tagging is important, but there are other factors now which are coming in terms of boosting exports or market acceptability. And in that process, the price factor, the quality, without being named as basmati or on basmati. I'll give you an example. Thai rice is very popular in Southeast Asia, as well as it's not being sold in Middle Eastern countries as well as in Europe. But it doesn't have to call it Thai rice. It just goes as kind of a boiled rice. There is a name for it. It doesn't call it purely Thai rice. Similarly, an example close home. India manufactures Amrut, a very well-known malt. It cannot, it's giving competition to the Scotch, malt Scotch, even from Scotland.
Correct.
It's selling much better. At lower price, and the quality is much better. Therefore, what I'm saying here is that Pakistan may go to the European Union and may fight for these things and sink their money in the legal cases. Eventually, the purpose of doing all this is to boost exports, and that would depend upon so many other factors. Thank you, Vinny.
Right, absolutely. And Sumit, it would have been a better idea if, because it's a question of heritage, Sumit. It's not only a question about, who's going to win this war. Obviously, there is a high potency that the European Union will say that, okay, this is produced by a huge level. The maximum, in India, so they get to have the GI tag. These are some of the instances where you really feel, had Pakistan been a good neighbor, had they had the good Samaritan or Samaritans to understand the value of being with India vis-a-vis China, then perhaps this dispute was a no-brainer, Sumit.
Right, Vinny, the point here is that you see what Pakistan is trying to do. Look at the compulsions of Pakistan. Pakistan's exports, which have decreased by 12.8% in 2019, is just $20 billion. Cloth is around 11 billion. Then you have cotton, 1.8 billion. The third item on the list of Pakistan, the most pertinent item on the list of Pakistan is basmati rice, which is approximately around $1 billion. So what they fear losing the third highest selling item on their export list to India. Now, the moment GI tagging is gone, the authenticity of the product is gone. How do you know the child labor is not involved in there? How do you know that all the formalities and all the due procedures and all the hygienes are followed? And the most important thing is, how do you know with proximity to China, this rice is not a kind of a synthetic rice which is made in a factory in Xinjiang or Hubei and exported out of Pakistan. With their proximity happening, this all is possible. So GI tagging becomes sacrosanct for Pakistan. But Pakistan has lost the race, Vinny, because if they start doing it today, it will take them another 5 years. By the time they wake up and get this GI tag in place, India would have taken the complete market, at least the European market. They can continue to export to Iran, that is their call. But the point here is that now Pakistan is desperate. So what is it doing? They are going and using these law firms. These law firms cannot do the magic. You have to follow the process of the international law. And what can a law firm help you? Because you have already lost the race. You can be the number one IT international terrorism exporter, but you cannot be the number three basmati exporter in the world.
Sumit, isn't this the trick that Pakistani ministers and powerful people in the bureaucracy have used by hiring these expensive agencies and law firms to siphon off money from the exchequer of Pakistan?
Of course, you are bang on right, sir, 100%. They use American lobbyists when they don't have $1 billion. They use Swedish lobbyists. They use these Belgian law firms. They use all of them. And we know all the money in the Pakistan is with generals and the corrupt politicians. So this might be a good way to round trip money. Basmati to milegi nahi. Let's make a few $1 million out of it. So GI tag race is lost, is done. We are going to exceed. And Basmati is a product of India, will be a product of India, though it is part of it is grown in Pakistan. But when it comes to GI tag, if we have the lion's share, the GI tag by all means, legitimate, legal, ethical, moral, has to come to us. There is no second thought about it. Let's say tomorrow and Azerbaijan grows a patch of basmati. Will they also get a GI tag? They cannot get. Let's say we start producing scotch. Will we also get a scotch GI tag? No, we will not get. If we start producing champagne in Nasik, can we use the word champagne? No, we cannot. So logically, we have won the race. Pakistanis are desperate and are finding these, using this tamasha to round up a few $1 million, rob this money out of the poor Janta of Pakistan, and somebody in Pakistan is going to be rich. After this incident, basmati to nahi milegi, GI tag to nahi milega, but somebody will make money out of it. And the tamasha will go on. They love these tamasha.
Sumit, perhaps they should try their luck in applying for a GI tag in the IT industry, which you have spoken of multiple times on our shows.
IT for us is information technology. For us is international terror.
Yes.
International terror, they have the patent, they have the PhD, they have all the patents. They issue patents to the whole world because any terrorist activity anywhere in the world, you can say their roots to Pakistan. Even these two characters in France, I was doubting they'll be Pakistanis. To all my surprise, they were not, because the last time who did attacks in UK, they were both Pakistanis. So this time around, it is a non-Pakistani. In fact, they should be worried. These Tunisians and these Chechenians are trying to take the center stage in IT, international terrorism. ISI should wake up. This is somebody challenging their position.
Mohammad Ali Shah, we're not talking about the defense situation between these two countries. We are talking about opportunities that Pakistan has missed. In their pathological obsession, in pursuing an anti-India agenda, Mohammad Ali Shah, they have lost track of a number of important things that they could have worked out with India. Even during World War II, Churchill, Stalin and FDR came together. They hated each other. but they came together to defeat a common enemy, and that was the Nazi Party. But Pakistan will never learn, even from these examples in history. They continue to wage this war against us. What does this tell you about Pakistan, a country which still finds itself perhaps in the echelons of depravity and a kind of socialism, which we might never see the end of as long as people like Imran Khan are around?
I really believe that Pakistan has taken the whole ideology and philosophy of having taken the road less traveled very, very seriously. As I totally agree with the fellow panelists, and especially Sumit, as he's rightly said, if we start manufacturing something in our country, does that mean that we will get the patented rights? No, we would not get. The GI tag, it is a very important tag. Now, Pakistan, they make about 800 million to 1 billion annually on the exports of the basmati rice. So certainly, I can understand the desperation, yes, but they've been sleeping. 10 September, we applied for the GI tag for this particular product. You remember, as you rightly mentioned, late 90s, early 2000, we won the case against Texmati, this rice importing company in Texas. Similarly, now Pakistan has a very low chance because the maximum date to oppose us is by 10th December. And that is as per the Article 51 of the regulation of the EU number 1151/2012. Maximum by 10th December they can oppose. But Pakistan, okay, we import two-thirds of the rice, of basmati rice, to European countries. Pakistan import the rest. But once again, as I think Sumit is bang on. They should rather go for an IT license, international terrorism. They certainly have taken the road less traveled very, very seriously, and I see no hope for Pakistan to win this case in any logically. It will come to us. And like for example, Darjeeling tea, it hikes up the price, yes, it increases the imports, and that is the whole idea behind it. And India logically is going to get it. You take states like Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, in fact, a bit of UP and Bihar and Himachal. We are thriving in basmati rice, whereas Pakistan, certainly, yes, I would not deny that fact that let's give the devil its due, they have a patch of basmati rice, but logically speaking, does it mean that they will get the tag? No, they will not get. Neither can they oppose us. So Pakistan will certainly suffer a huge loss over there financially as well.
Right, absolutely. Completely agree with you, Muhammad Ali Shah. And Sharad Kohli, this brings to the fore an important question as well, that we need to take our indigenous products, which have the potential of becoming global brands, more seriously. Let's learn from Pakistan. In fact, let's thrive on their mistakes and do this thing right from here on. The GI tagging has the potential to in fact give exclusivity to India in a number of products, Sharad, not only basmati rice.
Yes, Vineet. In fact, when this whole Chinese boycott, the boycott of Chinese good matter came up, GI tagging in India was suddenly, known to everyone, and everybody started looking at GI tagging. I think common citizens, common consumers of India were never aware of GI tagging till the Chinese issue cropped up. So I think vocal for local, Prime Minister's call on vocal for local, I think was one such step in this direction, that, if you have a speciality in a country, if you have something which is unique to the country, like terrorism for Pakistan, it will take no time, as everybody said, I'll also add my bit, it will take no time to get a GI tag. Pakistan, if it's a 5-year procedure, I can bet you'll get it in 5 hours. So yes, if there is something which is originating in your country and is special, and sells around the world, there are so many teas, there are so many other products which go from India, and there's so many kinds of fabric. Khadi is one such thing. So I think if these are the kind of products, they get GI tags, and I think I can tell you that at the government level, at corporate level, things are moving towards GI tagging, because as it gradually becomes mandatory in the Western world, I think we are moving. But looking at compulsions of Pakistan, beneath that, why is Pakistan desperate? We have been very keenly analyzing the Pakistan economy, not because Pakistan is an enemy neighbor or whatever, because the Pakistan economy is going through a phase. That is why $1 billion of basmati export has suddenly become so precious. Pakistan, Vineet, let me announce this on your show today, that Pakistan is on the verge of its currency failing. it is getting into a hyperinflation cycle, and they are printing money because nobody is lending to them. They continue to be in the grey list of FATF thanks to China. Otherwise, it would have been blacklisted. So because of the grey listing, no investments are coming into Pakistan for a very long time. So I think as far as the foreign exchange reserves are concerned, Pakistan has literally gone broke. So it is printing money like anything. So when it's printing currency, we are already noticing from inflation, it's moving to hyperinflation.
Okay.
And if we remember the case of Zimbabwe, Vineet, a couple of decades ago, what happened? I mean, the Zimbabwean currency failed. It had to bring in US dollars. So you were, for buying bread, you had to carry pot loads of money, because the inflation was some 2 million% or whatever. I think Pakistan is heading in that
towards
direction.
that. Absolutely.
So that is why we need the desperation to save this $1 billion from being stopped from coming into the country once the European Union, bans Pakistani basmati rice.
Absolutely. And what could perhaps be noticeable and, to some extent even acceptable to India, Ambassador Goyal, is that for once Pakistan is fighting a straight fight. We only have about a minute and a half left onto the show. 30-second reactions from everyone, starting with Ambassador Goyal, and then we wrap up.
Thank you very much, Vineet, to put me on the alert. I'll take 30 seconds. First of all, as I said earlier, it seems rather odd to me that Pakistan should be trying to fight this case with the European Union, because nobody has said that basmati does not come from Pakistan. Even if they want to sell basmati from Pakistan, this sells in the market, and like it goes from India also. So my sense is that somebody is trying to make money out of this case, and that money will again go into somebody's pocket. Otherwise, the case doesn't make any sense. Number one. Number two, Pakistani economy going down the hill, the currency collapsing, etc. All that is, yes, I agree with the argument. And I know that Pakistani economy is not doing very well at all. In fact, it becomes all the more reason for them to focus on the economy doing well rather than fighting cases like this. Therefore, I would say that we need not really think about what Pakistan is doing. They're only basically going on the path of the ruin further.
Absolutely. Mohammad Ali Shah, your response, 30 seconds, and then we conclude with Sumit Peet.
Pakistan, by understanding their desperation, they would have been on a much better foot had they jointly done it with us. But now they're going to lose. Now Pakistan economy as it is suffering. They are in debt. US has withdrawn support. There are civil wars happening in the Sindh province of Pakistan. They are heading for their own doomsday. And I think they are just wasting their time, their efforts, their energy, and their money in opposing our case. Because I don't see any hope in hell that Pakistan can come anywhere close to logically winning this case.
Absolutely. Sumit?
I think
Sumit, sorry, please add a sentence in your statement that the law firm should better secure their fee.
So important there. I mean, maybe Chinese are a guarantee to that.
It should be prepaid.
The point here is, if you have reached a stage where you are looking into a mirror and lying to yourself, that is what Pakistan is doing. First thing, Osama bin Laden lands in Abbottabad, right, from Mars. He lives in a cantonment, he makes babies, we have no idea. He's a martyr, we have no idea. Chinese are taking our, whatever they are doing, we have no idea.
And the recent one, Sumit, the recent one, we orchestrated Pulwama. Let's congratulate the Prime Minister on that.
Yeah, they orchestrated Pulwama. Now, Imran Khan does not know where is Xinjiang, what is happening. He said, "Humne jaaj ki, wahan kuch nahi ho raha." So if that is the level of desperation, and the most pertinent thing was when he said, "I'll go and get Nawaz Sharif out of UK extradited." You don't have extradition treaty, and nobody can ever extradite anybody from UK. When you are saying so many blatant lies to the people and saying to yourself, now there is one more lie, ek aur jhoot. We are going to go and fight and defeat this India in the international court of law. हम हिंदुस्तान को नहीं याद दिला देंगे. आपको भी पता कुछ नहीं होगा. देखो भाई, बच्चा बाप से कभी बड़ा नहीं होता.
All right, absolutely.
बच्चा बाप से कभी बड़ा नहीं होता.
Just 2 words for Pakistan if they want to fight us in a straight fight. Good luck. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of this wonderful debate.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.